So, as you know, one of the most difficult things when you're learning a language is finding motivation, especially with children. But because I am a very progressive teacher, I have discovered a special technique to motivate our students here at the school. Hello and welcome to Canguro English. I'm Christian, and today we are going to be talking about reported speech. Reported speech in any language is really, really important because something that we do every day in languages is we tell stories. We tell stories about what happened yesterday, about what happened last year, and stories almost always contain speech. Somebody said this and somebody said that. So today I'm going to teach you how to use reported speech like a native speaker. And also I am going to tell you about a type of reported speech that half of English people use, but that probably you don't even know it exists. But before we can talk about reported speech, we need to understand the sequence of tenses, okay? Now, in languages, you have two possibilities for the sequence of tenses. You have a natural sequence of tenses or an attracted sequence of tenses. And in English, we prefer the attracted sequence of tenses. I'll give you an example. Imagine that I see you at a party and you say, I live here. I live here. You're using present simple because it's something that's true. And my reply is, I didn't know you live here. Now you can see here that when I repeat the verb live, I am continuing to use present simple because you live here, this is something that's true, so it's also true here. But in English, because we prefer an attracted sequence of tenses, that means that we prefer to make the verbs in the sentence in the same tense. This verb here in the past attracts this verb here to also be in the past. So in English, we would prefer to say, I didn't know you lived here. I want to say that this is not a rule, okay? It's not obligatory to use the attracted sequence, but it's something that we definitely prefer in English. Mostly, we use the natural sequence of tenses for emphasis, okay? For example, I will get married. You tell me you will get married. Now, if I have my reply, I didn't know you will get married, I could use the attracted sequence of tenses and say, I didn't know you would get married. But if I want to emphasize that we are talking about the future or clarify we are talking about the future, then I can use the future like this, no problems. So now let's talk about reported speech, okay? So there are two types of reported speech, direct and indirect. And direct is the most easy. Direct is when we repeat exactly what the person says. For example, imagine I say, I love pizza, which is true. I love pizza. Now, you could say, direct speech, Christian said, I love pizza. So you can see there is no change. You are repeating exactly what I say. And we must use, our quotation marks. So the second type of reported speech is indirect. And this is a little bit more complicated. And this is why we needed to understand the sequence of tenses. So the original, again, I love pizza. But this time, look at the difference. Christian said he loved pizza. So you can see the first thing, we have changed the pronoun because I and he, it's different. It doesn't make sense because you are not me. And also you will notice that we have used an attracted sequence. Look, Christian said, this is the past. So also we prefer to put the verb in the past. He loved pizza. Now, as I said before, this is not obligatory because I love pizza in general. So you could also say, Christian said he loves pizza. But normally we would only use that for emphasis. Now, let's look at a sentence which is a little bit more complicated. This is the original quotation. I want you to come to my house. So first we need to change the pronouns. So Christian said, he, not I, he. And now we're going to put the verb in the past, The attracted sequence, wanted. You, no, wanted me. To come, no, because come is here. If I am Christian, you come to my house. But if you are you, then you go to my house. He wanted me to go. To go, not come. To. And also, it's not your house, it's my house. So we need to change the possessive, his house. And you can see with indirect speech that we have no quotation marks. And also, if you want, optionally, you can put that. Christian said that, But it's not obligatory. So you can see that sometimes using indirect speech is a little bit complicated because you have to change the verbs and the pronouns and the possessives. But if you practice a little bit, then you will get faster and faster and it will be more and more natural. I said at the beginning of this video that I was going to show you a way to use reported speech that you probably didn't know existed and that native speakers use 50% of the time. Well, this is it. Be like and go. Sometimes when we are telling a story, we want to do imitations or impersonations of people speaking. And if we want to do an imitation, then we use be like and go. For example, I was like, oh, I love pizza. And he went, really? So you can see that when I repeat the direct speech, I'm doing an impression of how the person was speaking. Their facial expressions, So this is really excellent for adding some interest to your stories. This is a chart that shows by age how often people use say or be like. So you can see that younger people use say and be like equally, okay? And it reduces a little bit as we move into the older generation, but this is very, very common. So I have shown you that you can use say and be like and go, but they are not the only verbs that we can use to report speech. There are lots of different options, and they can help you to make your reported speech more interesting. Okay? So here are 3 examples, okay, that we can use with indirect speech. So he admitted that he ate too much pizza, and he suggested that he go on a diet. And he promised not to eat so much pizza. So if you want to make your reported speech more interesting, then try to use some other verbs, not just say and tell, okay? And to help you, I have this fantastic PDF from the University of Adelaide with lots of different reporting verbs, how to use them, which prepositions to use. The link is in the description, so download this and start practicing. Well, that was the class about reported speech, and I hope that you learnt a lot and that you feel comfortable now using reported speech in English. If you would like to see any more videos about the English language, then don't forget to subscribe. I'm Christian, this is Canguro English. I'll see you in class.